Hello, good people of Bills Nation, and welcome to this edition of the NFL on Snyderman Broadcasting. Playoff football has arrived yet again in Buffalo as the Ravens are set to do battle with your Buffalo Bills. But before we look around the NFL, we would like to remind you that live on twitch.tv/Snyderman_Inc. on February 28th, there will be live coverage of the NFL Draft. So we will see what the future holds for Buffalo on February 28th as they welcome in a new class of athletes to the Buffalo Bills. But as we've said, it is Wildcard weekend and the Ravens are going to swing by Buffalo for a Wildcard matchup. Elsewhere, you are going to have the Bears go into Tampa and try to take down Tom Brady and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bears have been a pretty good story so far this season. Not a team that people expected to make it this far, so we'll see what they are able to do against Tom Brady and the Bucs. Meanwhile, the Rams are going to go out to Lambeau Field. Matthew Stafford and Aaron Rodgers set to renew their rivalry there. We'll see what Stafford is able to do, and we'll see if Rodgers is able to right the ship there in Green Bay. Meanwhile, the Cinderella story of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are hosting a wild card game against the Cleveland Browns. Jacksonville, a team not a lot of people had pegged. They go from the first overall pick in last year's draft to now hosting a playoff game. The Giants head into Arizona. The Giants, yet another team that a lot of people wrote off before the season even started. Giants heading out to Phoenix to face the Cardinals. And of course, the Raiders are going to head up to Cincinnati to face Joe Burrow and the Bengals. That should be a pretty great matchup there. Both teams fairly evenly matched, so we will see what happens. Anything can happen in the playoffs. Season-ending stats, Brady, Mahomes, and Matt Ryan led the league in passing yards this season. Brady almost 5,800 yards passing. Amazing there. Meanwhile, Mahomes, Allen, and Brady lead in passing touchdowns. Allen 5 touchdowns behind Mahomes. Your top 3 rushers in the NFL this season were Ezekiel Elliott, Nick Chubb, and your Buffalo Bills running back Devin Singletary. Meanwhile, receiving-wise, the Tampa Bay duo of Mike Evans and Tyler Johnson make up the top 2 with Travis Kelce coming in at number 3 in receiving yards there. On the defensive side of the football, Von Miller leads the league in sacks, followed by Jeffrey Simmons, and of course Brian Burns lead the league in sacks. Von Miller had a heck of a year with 19. Bryce Hall led the league in interceptions. Levi Wallace, Trayvon Diggs, and Awarie out of Detroit all tied for second place with 6 interceptions, and you have a tie in third place with 5 interceptions there as well. So great defensive football around the NFL. But as we have said, it's time for the playoffs. Wildcard weekend has come to Highmark Stadium as your Buffalo Bills welcome in Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Your Bills look to right the wrong of last season, just missing a Super Bowl bid in Arrowhead last year. They look to get back to that and end up going to LA for the Super Bowl. But in order to do that, first they will have to contend with Lamar Jackson and this Ravens offense. There you can see the playoff picture yet again. We'll be keeping an eye on this as the weekend goes through. But let's go ahead and get this game started as Tucker kicks the ball off deep into the end zone. McKenzie's just going to take a knee there. And that will start this wild card matchup. There you see Josh Allen coming out onto the field. 4,300 yards passing and 43 touchdowns on the year. Bills will be looking to improve those interception numbers next season. But it's a brand new season here in the playoffs. One and done. Singletary gets a hard-fought couple yards there. Let's call it 2 yards on the run there by Singletary. Not a whole lot doing on that first play. Allen changing the play under center. He's going to go into play action, rolls to his left, finds Beasley, and that will be a first down, Buffalo. Beasley, really one of Allen's favorite targets here this season. Can't blame him. Sure hands Beasley there. Leads to a Bills first down. They're moving the chains, and as you can see, Allen just very poised, rolls out ever so slightly, and finds Beasley cutting towards the sideline and gets an early Bills first down. Bills are driving now, about 10 minutes left in the first quarter. They are deep into Ravens territory already. Allen's going to look for Knox. He's going to find him, and that is going to be a 21-yard touchdown pass to Knox for the touchdown. Morris, the center, is going to be injured on that play. He may return. We will keep you updated on that as we get information. But story right now is Bills take an early lead here in Buffalo. And there you see Lamar Jackson's numbers. Almost 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 13 picks for Mr. Jackson. He's going to come out of the shotgun, leading this Ravens offense onto the field. We'll see how this great Bills pass rush, and Ed Oliver is going to stuff that run. So nothing doing here early in the drive for the Ravens. But we'll see how this Bills pass rush does against the ever-reliable legs of Lamar Jackson. You have to change your game plan when you're dealing with a quarterback like Jackson who can hurt you with his legs. So we'll see what the Bills have in store to keep Jackson contained. That'll be a check down to Freeman. Freeman's going to pick up a few yards on that play, but Wallace is going to stop him on third down, which will lead to a Baltimore punt, and Josh Allen and this Bills team head back onto the field where nothing is doing for Singletary on that run. And really, he's only touched the ball 2 times, and there hasn't been a lot going for Singletary on his 2 touches. Meanwhile, Allen looking for Diggs, and Diggs unable to pull it in with the pressure. That will lead to a punt by Buffalo. So, not a whole lot except for the first drive touchdown for either team. In the meantime, that is a good punt by Hawk, which will be downed inside the 10 by Wallace. Lamar and the Ravens going to take over from their own 8-yard line. So, long way to go for the Ravens on this drive if they want to cut into this touchdown lead. And if you're the Ravens, you want to score now so that this game doesn't potentially end up getting out of hand. And that'll be a good way to do it as Freeman gouges a big run there. Call it 9 on that first down run. Meanwhile, Jackson is going to be out of the gun on 3rd and inches. He's going to be looking for and not finding his receiver. The officials are going to say that pass was caught out of bounds. Wallace on the coverage there. So Jackson missing a crucial first down or 3rd down pass. Meanwhile, Allen's going to come back out, and the story's really been the big connection that he's been able to have with his receivers here today. Allen kind of throwing the ball around at will, looking to get more points on the board. So Allen going to hand the ball off to Singletary. Singletary breaks a good run. Let's call it 8 yards on the run there for Devin Singletary, bringing up 2nd and 2 for Buffalo. Your Bills driving. 1st and 10 now, ball at about the 30. Allen's going to put Beasley in motion. He's going to drop back. Allen looking for and finding Diggs open across the middle. Diggs is going to fumble that ball, recovered by the Ravens. So, again, the Bills get into scoring position, but they lose the football. Big pass to Diggs, although it looks like the booth may review, and they will. This play is going to be reviewed upstairs to see if Diggs actually fumbled that football, and depending on the angle, I don't see anything else that would... Oh, right there. the forearms down, and the ball looked pretty sturdy to me, and it does to the officials as well. So Buffalo will maintain possession as they overturn the fumble call. Meanwhile, it's a screen to Singletary. Singletary's juking a defender, finding an opening, and he will go in for a touchdown on the screen pass. So Singletary putting the Bills up by yet another touchdown. And there you see Singletary just wide open on the screen. He's going to move forward and he'll juke a couple defenders, find a open lane, and just take it in as Bass is going to make it 14-0 Buffalo. Good job there by this Bills offense so far as Lamar Jackson is out of the pistol set. He's been held in check as well. So has Freeman, as you can see on that handoff. Freeman, 3 touches, only 6 yards on the day. So far, neither running game has been able to get much going for either side, as those stuffs have been kind of standard edition for this Bills team today. Jackson is going to drop back. He's going to find Freeman out in the flat. Freeman's going to get about 5 on that play, but nothing else, and that will bring up 4th down for the Ravens. So again, this Bills defense stifling against the Ravens offense. Not a whole lot doing. Jackson not pressured at all, but the Bills just haven't given up the big play. And that, if anything, is what killed the Bills this season, is just giving up the big plays. Here comes Josh Allen onto the field. End of the first quarter. He's going to hand it off to Singletary, and Singletary's going to break for a pretty decent gain there on 2nd and 12. We'll call that a gain of about 6. But that big run will do it to end the first quarter. 14-0 our score at the end of quarter number 1 in this wildcard matchup. Bills still have the ball to start the second quarter. Allen is going to roll out. He's going to just scramble. He's going to take it, and he's going to take a big shot, but he will pick up the first down. And that's one thing that makes Josh Allen hard to deal with. He can beat you with his arm as well as his legs. There you see, picking up the first down, moving the chains for the Bills. And Allen is just so big that even when he does get into the open field like that, he is oftentimes pretty hard to take down. Normally Allen's good about sliding, but the last couple weeks he's taken a few shots on his scrambles. He is out of the gun now. Here early in the second quarter, Allen's going to roll out to his right. He's going to take off again. He's going to fumble that football, takes another shot. That's why you got to slide. Allen is going to lose that ball, and that will turn it over to the Ravens. Bills still up 14-0. Costly turnover there deep into Ravens territory, as here comes Jackson and his offense looking to cut into this Buffalo lead here. Out of the pistol yet again. Jackson, play action. He's going to take off. He's going to go. He's going to get hit, and he's going to fumble. That'll be Klein picking up the football, and he's going to scoop it and score it. So Klein, taking advantage of the fumble, takes it in for a Buffalo touchdown. Make it 20-0. That is a defensive touchdown for Buffalo. And again, you'd like to see these quarterbacks start sliding, as Jackson took a big shot there and lost the football. 21-0 now our score here in Buffalo, as Bass's extra point adds on to this lead. Jackson out of the gun. He's going to go play action again. He's going to find his receiver up open over the middle. And the Ravens are moving the ball, 3rd and inches now. Jackson drops back. Looks, can't find his receiver. Pass is batted down on 3rd and inches. And that's going to lead to yet another 3rd down stop for Buffalo. So here comes the offense. Beasley going to be in motion on this first play. Singletary's going to get the call. He's going to hurdle his fullback, Gillum, there and pick up a good gain there on first down. Ball at about midfield. Allen's going to drop back. He's going to air it out, and he's looking for Diggs. He finds Diggs deep into the end zone for a touchdown. Make it 27-0 Buffalo. And look at the air on this ball. You doubted Allen's arm strength. I don't know why. Because this kid has a cannon. He's shown it the first 4 years in the league. He shows it again right there. That'll be a 46-yard connection to Diggs to widen this lead. And this might have the makings of a blowout. As Freeman gets the handoff, he's going to pick up, call it about 6 on the run there. Jackson again. Looked for a quick connection, couldn't find it there. And that's going to be another missed opportunity, another missed catch for the Ravens. Is going to lead this Buffalo offense back out onto the field where Singletary, he's going to take it around the edge, he's going to juke a defender, and he's going to get a good gain of about 8 yards on that rush. So the running game picking up some steam here. Moss is going to get the handoff on this next play. He's going to go into the end zone. So now if you're Baltimore, what do? Because you are down 5 scores here in the first half with that touchdown from Moss. Bass's field goal is going to make it 35-0. And so if you are the Ravens, you got to figure something out, and you got to figure it out in a hurry so that you can cut into this gap. Otherwise, it's going to be a long second half of football. Jackson hit hard on the screen there, but that will do it for the first half as your Bills take a 35-point lead into halftime, and there has been nothing, and I do mean nothing, going on for the Ravens. There you see our playoff matchups yet again. We will keep you up to date as much as we can here on Snyderman Inc., as both of those games will happen tomorrow after this game. In the meantime, here in Buffalo, it's been all Bills. There you see big mistakes by Jackson, big fumble, scoop, and score by the Buffalo defense, and this Ravens offense just hasn't been able to get any sort of offense going. Right around 100 yards total offense first half for the Ravens, and this Ravens defense hasn't been able to stop Buffalo. So if you are the Ravens, you have to come out and make some adjustments so that this game does not end up getting out of hand. In the meantime, Bass's kickoff is going to go into the end zone, leading to a touchback where Jackson, Brown, Freeman, and the rest of this Ravens offense is going to have to get something going. You would think they would want to put points on the board, or need to put points on the board this first drive. That's going to be a read option. Jackson's going to keep it. He's going to run. He's going to fumble again. Rousseau's there to pick up the ball. That is Jackson's third fumble, I believe. Yes, third fumble on the day. Second really costly one. We, of course, had the scoop and score earlier, and that scoop up is going to give the Bills field position around the Ravens 20. So really good field position here for Buffalo to start this drive, and they have a 35-0 lead. Allen all day to throw, and he's just quickly going to find Beasley. So make it a 6-score lead now for Buffalo as they have the foot on the gas, and they are not letting up here in the second half, as that was a big connection there to Beasley for the touchdown. So the more things are going here, the more it looks like we will be right back here for the divisional round here in Buffalo. as now the Buffalo Bills defense comes back onto the field. 3rd and 4 for the Ravens. Jackson out of the gun. Jackson has to air it out. Jackson looked to scramble, had nowhere to go, and he's taken down by Epinesa. So Epinesa gets the sack there on 3rd and 4. Nowhere to go, and Jackson just runs right into the defender. Goes down hard. So things go from bad to worse for this Ravens team as they have to punt the ball away. McKenzie looking for some space. He's going to find it. He's going to find it down the sideline, and he's going to get run out about the Ravens' 41. So, again, great field position here for the Bills. Morris, the Bills center, is going to be out, and he has a major injury that looks to keep him out for the rest of the game, if not the rest of the playoffs. So we will keep you updated as much as we can on that. Meanwhile, Singletary gets a decent run there. It's 3rd and goal now for Buffalo. They're knocking on the door again, and Allen just finds Diggs for the score. And at this point, it's that has to be ball game. That is the dagger. 48. Tyler Bass's extra point is going to make it 49-0. That'll be the dagger for these Bills, and that will send the Ravens home. Still about a quarter left to play, but unless the Bills' defense, which has been so good today, is going to suffer a major collapse, I don't see this Ravens team really doing much of anything. End of the 3rd quarter now, and Jackson with a handoff. That will do it for the 3rd quarter, as these Ravens are going to need a 4th quarter just for respect. They're going to need a big 4th quarter just for the respect factor. You're not going to dig yourself out of a 49-0 hole going into the last quarter, but you do need to put as many points on the board as you can, and that fumble's not going to do it, and that's Rousseau. Rousseau with another fumble recovery, and that will lead to another Bills touchdown. So, talk about your one-sided affairs here in Buffalo. The rookie gets a scoop and a score on that sack by Epinesa. Rousseau right there to get his 2nd fumble recovery and the 2nd defensive touchdown for the Bills. So, how do you right the ship if you are the Ravens? How do you make this at least a respectable game as Jackson scrambles there, gets the 1st down, about 50 yards rushing for Jackson on the day. The Bills have, for the most part, been able to keep him pretty well contained. It's been those 3 fumbles and the 2 defensive touchdowns that have really let the Bills run away with this ball game. Jackson out of the gun. He's going to look for his fullback there, and he's going to find him. That'll be a 1st down Ravens there on that reception. Only 150 yards total for this Ravens team, and there you see Josh Allen feeling good on the sideline, getting people hyped up, getting people ready to host another playoff game right here next week, where your Bills are either going to host the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Cincinnati Bengals, depending on how the next 2 AFC playoff games go. We'll be right back here for Bills Jaguars or Bills Bengals. So we'll see what happens there. But there you see Josh Allen's day, 14 for 15, 222 yards, and of course the 5 touchdown passes. The Ravens do score. Picard gets the score there. Handoff to Singletary. Picard on the touchdown for the Ravens there will put the Ravens on the board. Meanwhile, the Ravens defense finally gets a stop here late in the fourth, and that is going to lead Lamar and his men back onto the field. Lamar Jackson's going to roll out. He's going to be sacked hard, and that is Jerry Hughes with the big sack on Lamar there late in this fourth quarter in a very one-sided affair for your Buffalo Bills. Hughes, hard sack. Last Bills, one more play here by the Ravens. Ravens looking, they're going to find Picard. Picard's going to pick up the first down to keep this ball moving for the Ravens here to end this fourth quarter. And that'll do it. In a very, very one-sided wild card matchup, your Buffalo Bills are going to really crush the Ravens and move on to the divisional round where, as I said, they will be hosting either the Cincinnati Bengals or the Cinderella story that is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, about 420 offensive yards for the Bills to right around 200 on the day for the Ravens. Of course, those two scoop and scores for this Bills D is the story of the day. In injury news for Buffalo, the center Mitch Morris, he did tear his labrum, so he will miss the rest of the playoffs, meaning that the Bills are going to have to figure out what to do on that offensive line to fill that gap. Of course, they will be without the other players that they've been without all season long, including the corner Tre'Davious White. But that was a 56-7 victory for your Bills. Looking around the NFL, we do have the Raiders going into Cincinnati and beating the Bengals. So it will be the Raiders heading into Arrowhead to face the Chiefs in the AFC Divisional Round. And your Bills will host the Jacksonville Jaguars. On the other side of the bracket, the Rams are going to go into Dallas after beating the Packers in Lambeau. The Rams are going to get the victory in Lambeau and go into Dallas looking to be the spoilers for the Cowboys there. The Bucs are going to handle their business against the Bears at home, so they will travel to Phoenix to face the Arizona Cardinals, who took care of the Giants. So that is what we have on tap next week. Divisional playoffs, Kansas City versus Las Vegas. Your Bills host the Jaguars, Dallas hosts the Rams, and the Cardinals will host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In the meantime, we're going to remind you on February 28th, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, go to twitch.tv/Snyderman_Inc. so you can see every bit of the NFL draft and see where your Bills are going, or who your Bills are going to end up with this NFL offseason. In the meantime, be good, and we love you, Bills Nation.